Hey guys, this is Ash, and I'm super excited to be doing this video for when we did part of their Dip Studio series. And today I'm going to be breaking down some of the key elements of one of my tracks called White Desert. It was recently released on Cercle Records, and the reason why it's actually called White Desert is that we filmed a live session for it in the White Desert of Egypt, which is an incredibly beautiful place, and honestly, it was an amazing experience. The video is up on YouTube if you want to watch it. So yeah, let's just start right away and dive into this. Um, so I'm just gonna talk to you about the structure quickly. So this is not always how I work, but when I'm working in the studio, I'm gonna loop. I'm gonna kind of live loop stuff because I'm a multi instrumentalist and I play live. So the idea is always to be able to play, like, if I'm gonna produce a track, I want to be able to play it live when I have to. So obviously, like, in this one in particular, I I composed it all having this in mind. I wanted it to progress in a way where I know that I'm gonna be able to uh, for example, start with the pad and then loop it, and then play a guitar solo on it, and then loop it, and then play the percussions, some texture, the bass, whatever, and then loop. So this is basically how it kind of started. So I started with four chords on the pad where it just goes like. So these are pretty much this is pretty much the core of this track. The same chords playing over the track. Very simple chords, nothing crazy. Uh, Now the idea was to focus all the attention on two things. One, the solos and the melodies. I'm a very like melodic person, more than in my music. It's always very melodic. So it's usually this is why, like, I basically have, I'd say, 3 to 4 solos in this track. The first part is a guitar solo. Just a guitar solo opening up, followed by a percussion that is opening up, and then it comes with snare. The second part is actually when it drops. It's like kind of like a piano solo. It's The third part is another guitar solo. And the fourth part is a saxophone solo. So I basically wanted all the attention to be focused on these melodies. Again, I'm a very melodic person, and I always want that the focus to be kind of like when you're listening to a song. Obviously, you listen to the music, you listen to the vocals. I mean a song where someone is singing. Obviously, you would listen to the track, and then you're gonna focus on the lyrics. You're gonna listen to what the person is saying, how the melody, it's gonna touch you, like how it's gonna. This is basically the feeling that I try to replicate with instruments. So these are key melodic elements of the track, all following the same, playing on the same, following the same chords that I showed you in the beginning. Now, there are just two specific things that I intentionally wanted to focus on too. One of them was kind of like I wanted the track, like I'd say 70 or 80% of the track has this textural sound. It's kind of like a textural melody that I played with my guitar. The thing is, like, when you think of a guitar, you would think that it's gonna play a melody, it's gonna play some strums or something like that. But in that specific case, I wanted it to just sound like a texture that is kind of flowing throughout the entire track, you know. So I remember I remember very well that I was playing some percussions on the drums, and that's when I had this idea of I was playing on the SPD, and I had this idea. I was holding my drumsticks, and I had this idea of, you know, maybe trying to hit the guitar strings with the drumstick, and, you know, to get this textural sound. So that's basically the sound that you hear here. I'm gonna solo it so you can hear. So this sounds almost like, it sounds like a texture, but it's like a melodic texture. And how I did this is that I just took my guitar, and while I was while I was just jamming on the percussions, I had my guitar, and I, you know, decided to do this and try, and then it goes something like this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did here, is that I just wanted to, obviously right now it doesn't sound anything like it, and this is what effects are for, and EQing and all that stuff. So the thing is, again, I wanted it to be just a texture, right? Like, I didn't want it to not playing a melody here. And then there's also what's obvious, very obvious, is that the friction between the drumstick and the string is causing a lot of weird noises and off noises that are completely off key. So first thing I did is I wanted to keep only the high frequencies of the sound, you know, just, first thing I did, I automatically like cut all the low frequencies up till 400 hertz. So it was a very strong, very brutal low cut of the low end. And I actually also boosted the highs. I boosted the highs a little bit to, just to emphasize on these high frequencies. And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna turn off all the effects here. I'm gonna play it just with the EQ. So yeah, this is pretty much it right now, and it doesn't, it sounds dull. It sounds boring, right? Like it's starting to, like when I record this, I was like, yeah, okay, it might, get something and sound like something cool, but right now it doesn't sound anything cool. It just sounds like a random sound in the middle. Obviously, it's not gonna fit in the mix right now. So the reason why I actually used a delay and a reverb that was, kind of like an automatic thinking, is that again, I want the sound to flow through. I don't want it to be, and also because I didn't really record it on a rhythm. I think I was just like playing around, like this, and I didn't really follow like a specific tempo or the metronome or anything. So that's why, like, I first thing I did, on this one I actually used a convolution reverb. I'm just gonna put my guitar. So yeah, it's just it's the Ableton convolution, the Ableton Max for Live convolution reverb, and it's an amazing convolution reverb. And also for the reverb, I cut all the low frequencies, and I kept only the high frequencies. So I cut again around like 400 hertz, and I dramatically boosted the high frequencies here. Like I wanted this reverb to be extremely in the high frequency range. So so yeah, with the reverb, this is how it sounds like. So you can basically only hear like the high frequencies of this reverb. And then to kind of fix this issue of the fact that it's really not following any rhythm, I added a ping pong delay to, you know, just fix the. I don't mean not fix, but like kind of like make the sounds, you know, be more the sound blend more with the track, and it goes left and right, left and right. Now the thing is, the ping pong delay is amazing at this, you know, like kind of panning the delay left and right. It's a really cool effect, but I wanted it to feel like the sound is coming from all over the place, not just left and right, but like back, right, left, front, you know, kind of like, you know, these 8D versions of tracks on YouTube. I mean, I wasn't trying to do that at all, but I was just, you know, I kind of, that's something that I mean, you know, kind of like in the real world, you know, the sounds come when you hear something. It just yeah, obviously if your studio monitors are on your left and your right, you're gonna hear it left and right, but it actually comes from the entire room. You know, you're in a space. You're not wearing headphones, so I thought of something. I have a plugin from Waves called NX Stereo. This is not meant to be used as an effect. It's actually meant to be put on your mix bus, and it actually tracks using the webcam of your laptop. It tracks your head to kind of replicate if you're wearing headphones, it kind of replicate the feeling of being in a studio and listening on studio monitors. So you know, I thought maybe I can use this and automate automate the rotation of this to make the sound move from, you know, everywhere in the room, as if you're sitting in the middle of a room and the sound is coming from behind you, it's coming from your right, it's coming from your left, it's coming from your facing you. And this is what I did here. So if you can if you see the automation, so it starts from your back, and then it goes to your right, and then it stays a bit on your right, and then it slowly comes to face you. Now it just faces you, and then it goes back right. Then it comes to your around to your left, and then it drops. And this continues on playing the same sequence. So, you know, this is pretty much the idea that I had of, you know, just making the sound just, you know, flow through and, you know, play kind of like it's coming from everywhere. If you're wearing headphones, this is the best way you're gonna hear the difference. On a laptop, you're not gonna hear any difference, but if you're wearing headphones, you're gonna feel like the sound's coming from your back, and then it's going to your right, and then your front facing you, and then to your left. So this was really the main idea here. When it comes to the drop, it's actually like this piano solo that I was playing the same pretty simple chords, but just playing it more like. It's pretty much it. Just wanted to play these 4 chords here, and with the kick, bass, the textural sound that is flowing through, and of course an arpeggiator in the background, following the piano and the pad and the percussions. That's pretty much it. So this was up to from the first part of the song to the drop. Now the second part of the song comes the second main solo, which is the saxophone here. So the funny thing with the saxophone is that this track actually wasn't supposed to have a saxophone melody, and I was actually rehearsing for just, you know, when I finished working on a track, I just rehearse for live sessions, if ever, like I'm doing a live session, or in that case I was doing one. So I was just rehearsing, and you know, I was just I played some saxophone melodies over it, and then I decided to record, and this was the first take of the saxophone. And you know, sometimes I never record the first take. Most of the time I never record the first take. I think musicians know that, you know, we sometimes forget to record, to press record, and it's always annoying because sometimes the first take is the best, and in that case I actually pressed record, and this is the first take that I kept. I didn't want to change it. The melody was just, you know, it was something that I was feeling, and I didn't feel like I needed to change it. So I just basically just played this, and I was happy with it. I didn't want to re-record another one, so I just kept it. Now, the interesting part about the saxophone here is that, you know, it's a very long solo, right? And because it's a very long solo, I didn't want people listening to it to be bored of it. And obviously it's a solo, so you're not technically supposed to be bored, but, you know, I just wanted it to progress and add more depth to it. So in the second part of the solo, where it goes like this, I kind of recorded my voice behind it, you know, to follow what the saxophone was doing, the melody that the saxophone was playing. And so I'm going to show it to you here. So it goes like this. So it just adds more depth to it. And this is something that I love to do with my instruments, is that I usually record the melody, and then to add more depth to it, I just either record my voice doing the same melody over it, or another instrument layering it. To me, layering is super important. Layering and playing harmonies, these are two of the most important things to me. And then up to the second part of the drop, the second drop, I changed the build-up a bit, and I stopped all the instruments to build up with just this bass sound. So it goes like this. Again, here you can hear the piano, and one of the main focus sounds, this texture that's going from behind to your right, to your facing you, and to your left. This is how the rotation is going, the automation. So this was pretty much it. These were the key elements of this track, and I hope you guys like watching this video, and thank you so much for watching.